How many years have I been doing this? Standing in front of a mirror, scraping the hairs off my chin. Well, I'm 78. I started shaving when I was 15, so it's the 78 minus 15, that'd be 63. 63 sodding years. And if I'd had a shave every day, that'd be 265 times 63. What am I doing? Look at me. Your skin's sagging. My hair's thinning. And look at my eyes. All I want to do is just get this boring routine done with. I look out to see if there's any mail. As usual, there ain't none. I'll open the front door and pick up the milk. Mick, the bloke over the road, he'll be watching me in his dressing gown and slippers. Oh, I hate the bugger. Whenever he sees me, he always has to have a moan about something. And right now it's where I leave my bin. Morning, he'll shout above the constant drone of passing cars. I want to shout, shut up, you boring arsehole! But instead, I'll probably just grunt, morning, stoop to pick up the bottle. But he'll be waiting for a gap in the traffic to set off towards me, putting up a finger to route me to the spot. He'll call, I wanted to ask you something. But luckily a lorry carrying pipes will rattle past and I'll pretend not to hear. Quick as a flash, I'll step back indoors and close the door. And from behind the curtain, I'll watch him looking across, annoyance and disappointment written all over his ugly fat face. I'm wondering what he'd do if he comes over and knocks on my door, but luckily he's distracted. The woman next to is the skinny, nervy one with the purple hair, bustles out of her house, whipping her grubby tribe into the car to get them to school on time. And spotting her, he says, Donna, could I have a word? But she's having none of it. Not now, Mick, she says, stuffing a pea bag on the lap of her youngest, slamming the car door, and amid a honking of horns, she screeches off down the road. He's left standing on his doorstep like a piece of dog shit, and I think, this is my life. And I have an overwhelming desire to be dead. I'll put the milk in the fridge, take out the butter. Maybe I should cancel the milk and save money. I could buy it cheap at the supermarket. I'll open the fridge and take out a slice of bread and drop it in the toaster. I'll put a tea bag in my ancient stain mug and switch on the kettle. Take the sauce down from the shelf, get a knife and fork out, and then I'll fry myself a couple of lovely eggs. How many times have I done this, I wonder? But I stopped myself doing the maths. I noticed purple marks running down the front of the fridge. Beetroot, Probably. I make a mental note to wipe them off. I look at the kettle and the toaster, and I wonder which one will climax first. What the hell's that? These days, I'd rather have a pork pie. I've already forgotten about the beetroot stains, but the notion of not shaving hangs inside my mind like a recurring dream. How many shaves in a lifetime? That'd be 78. I'm 78. I started when I was 15. That's minus 50. That'd be 63. So 365 times 50. How many is that? Luckily, the kettle boils, and then the toaster springs to life, stopping me reaching for the pen and paper. Right. I sit at the table and look out the window. The nets hide me. How long have they been hanging there, gathering dust? My thoughts drift to old age. How long will it be before I die? Ain't many years left, but outside the window there's activity. I watch the postwoman actually, struggle down the road with her bag banging at her side. Still always the same one, the young mousy coloured haired one. Van parked at an angle, half on the road, half on the pavement. Hands full of envelopes and small packages. I watch as she slips them through the letterboxes unceremoniously. Reaching my door, she walks straight past. I glance at the clock. 12 minutes and 18 seconds past 9. What shall I do today? I think about what I'd look like with a beard, full set. Not shaving would that save how much? I start to do the calculations, but then stop. Oh, I feel depressed. I need to do something, anything. I'll go to a newspaper. Instead of walking to the corner shop where the unwashed youth will stand thumbing her mobile phone and asking, I decide to take the bus to town. It's almost empty as I sit away from the scattering of passengers and count my money. One £10 note, a £5 note, and a pocket full of change. Maybe 20 quid. Luckily the ride costs me nothing because I have a bus pass. And if I'm careful, this will see me through at the end of the week till pension day. If not, I'll eat less. A woman gets on who spreads over 2 seats. I've seen her before. Shame about her size because she's got such a nice face. She looks happy enough, so who am I to judge? And she's well dressed, better than me. I bet there's no holes in her knickers. I look down. Even my slippers have seen better days. How much would I need for a good pair of shoes, say? 50 quid? If I stopped buying razor blades, by Christmas I could save enough to buy a nice pair of oxblood rose. How much would it be if I never shaved? If I live to be 100, that's 100 minus 78. 22 years. 22 years. That's 300. 160. 365 plus extra. Oh shit! So I stop. It's when I get off the bus and start to push my way through the crowds I realise this was not a good idea. I hate the bustle and the confusion. I hate the litter and the smells. I hate constant, never-ending noises and the crowds. I hate people. An impatient businessman carrying a briefcase and wearing a smart suit ploughs his way towards me, dancing through the gaps in the bobbing heads, and as he passes, he bumps me roughly to one side. Don't mind me, I shout. Don't I matter? But he don't take no notice. Nobody does. A group of young people shaking tins of money approach me. Excuse me, lovely day, isn't it? Out shopping, are we? Have you ever thought of? I shake my head and point to my ears and push past. I've done that before. Pretend I can't hear. Saves me telling him to piss off. I see him pestering a couple carrying a baby who look as if they haven't got 2 pennies to up together. They're too polite to tell them to piss off. I stop a second or two to get my breath, and a woman catches my shin with her sodding pram, and I cry out in pain. But she's too busy chatting to her friend to take any notice of me. I set off again fast this time. Look, soon I get my paper and I'm back on that bus. The apple I'll fill. As I cross the open square with the stone fountain and flapping pictures, I feel strange, but not unpleasant buzz of euphoria hovering round my head like a sort of a silent bead. I get a tingling sensation in my chest to turn round and stare. As a sudden stab of pain makes me cry out, and the pavement comes up to meet me. I feel another sharp pain to my hand, in my head, and then nothing, except I'm shaving. I see my face in the mirror and I start to multiply 365 by 78 minutes plus 15 plus. I'm on my back, with my head cradled on a warm lap. Concerned faces stare down at me. The ambulance is on its way. A woman's voice assures me, and I feel a reassuring hand stroke my hair. Now you stay still, old man. No, I can't. I have to get a newspaper. I struggle to try and stand, but she has me pinned down. Now shush. You've had a nasty fall, but everything will be fine. I see a flashing blue light. And blackness. I've bruises on my face. Stitches in my forehead, and 2 of my fingers have been bandaged together. Apparently, one's broken, and an olive-skinned young woman who claims to be a doctor sits beside my chair, holding up some X-ray pictures. She looks about 12 years old, and I can't take in what she's saying, but they're keeping me in hospital for observation. She asked me if there's anyone they should notify. I tell them there ain't. How long will I be in here? I ask. Don't worry, she replies. We'll have you home as soon as we can. I feel disappointed. I'm so comfortable I could stay here forever. As I stand, the room spins, and once again, everything disappears. I find myself lying in a bed, dressed in a sort of white gown that fastens at the back. There's only the two of us in the ward, me and the man in the bed opposite. At the end, behind the desk, stand two nurses, chat with low voices. I can hear him saying, "It's lucky he sleeps most of the time because he's a moany old bugger." I assume they don't mean me. The bearded man who talks like Prince Charles turns up, draws the curtains round my bed and explains he's a consultant, and he proceeds to poke me about and ask me a load of questions. I answer them all politely. "You gave us quite a fight," he smiles. "Just to be on the safe side, we're going to do a few tests, see what's making this happen. Don't worry, it's probably nothing," he reassures me. Worry? I ain't worried. He's not sending me home, that's all I care about. A little while later, a tall, towsed-haired man arrives and unfolds a collapsible wheelchair. He speaks to me in broken English, and I realise he wants me to sit in it. Well, he pushes me out of the ward and up in the lift, and then along a maze of corridors to a room where they attach wires to my head and slide me inside this enormous machine. Everything's spotlessly clean and so comfortable. I nearly fall asleep. But don't seem long before they slide me out again. My foreign friend appears and pushes me back to the wall, just in time for supper. For the first time in years, I eat a meal cooked by someone else. Most of the lights have been turned out. When I think about the bearded consultant, what he must have saved by not buying razor blades. If I hadn't shaved, not ever, not all my life, how much would I have saved? If you use 1 month, that's 12 a year. That a packet with 4 costs. But my stomach is full, cosy and warm. The bed's comfortable, and I drift off to sleep with a smile on my face. Next day they look at my stitches and check my hand, and then they wash and shave me, ask me to dress and breakfast arrives. Everyone's so nice. I'm told that I shouldn't stay in bed and that nothing will happen until after lunch, so I set off and have a wander. There's a shop where I buy a paper, and right in the centre of the building I find an outside area with a bench, and I sit and read my paper and enjoy the plants and the flowers. This is heaven. Back in the wall, nothing seems to have changed. The grouch of a man in the opposite bed, his eyes open, but they stare at the ceiling. I sit on my bed as two cleaning women push a trolley into the ward. "You new? Been here long?" one asked. "One night," I answer. "Only one night," the other echoes. "Once a night is never enough." The first one winks when I say, "At my age, I'd rather have a pork pie." They giggle and we joke on till the bearded man walks in and they wheel away their trolley, and he tells me he has the results of my tests. "We're not exactly sure what happened, but because of your age, we wanted to be sure it wasn't anything serious," he says. "Well, was it serious?" He smiles at me, evades the question. "You'll be pleased to know that we've decided you can go home." Pleased? I'm bloody devastated. He leaves me with a folder full of printed sheets and tells me the nurses will come and see to me, and then he leaves. The man in the other bed, looking my way, and opens his mouth to speak. "Piss off," I tell him. The nurses sign me out, and I go down the lift. In the lobby I'm told there are no ambulances available, but luckily Amanda is about to leave, is go my way and he offers to give me a lift. I'm not in a good mood and he ain't very talkative. It's only words we exchange when he asks me to give him directions. And all too soon, I'm standing outside my front door. I want to thank him, but he's already driving off. It's dark now, and I hurry inside in case the neighbours see me, especially that bugger over the road. Inside, I turn on the light. Of all the places I wanted to be, it isn't this. Not after hospital. Nothing's better than hospital. I decided to make a cup of tea, watch the news on the telly, and have an early night. So I set the heating on low, put on my slippers, go into the kitchen, peek through the curtains. Lights on down the street, people in the houses doing a million different things, eating meals, watching telly, kids doing homework, teenagers on their computers, mums and dads laughing, arguing, talking. I look at the fridge door. Beetroot stains are still there. Maybe I will go in that beard and use the money I'll save to buy those shoes. How much would that be? How old am I? 78, 100 minus 78, that's 22. Will I live to be 100? Heaven forbid. If I did, that's 22 times 365. Oh, my head starts to ache, and I decide to go to bed. I have one foot on the first step. I stop. I feel sick. I sit down on the stairs and catch my breath. I remember something the bearded man said, and I stagger back into the kitchen to go through the papers they gave me. Something about an emergency number. Struggling to stay conscious, I reach for the telephone and dial. Almost straight away, a voice answers, and in between gasps, well, I explain where I am and what is happening to me. The voice is very calm and tells me to hang on, everything will be all right. They say an ambulance is on its way. And as I slip onto the floor, unconsciousness, I smile. I'll be back in hospital soon. It's warm. And there's a comfortable bed. And the food's made for me. People look after me. And I think to myself, this is the best thing that ever happened to me.